What's up, nerds? Let's talk about why you should not invest in Pokemon cards, whatever they are. Yes, you guy watching, whatever you are, just don't invest in Pokemon. Let's start. So I prepared a little Nido Burrito presentation with just 4 bullet points that I thought are the most important to discuss and the most, say, lightweight to really kind of get a good understanding of. So the very first one is long-term play. The next one is the market is illiquid. Next is the Pokemon cards pay no dividend. And last but not least, the opportunity cost of investing in Pokemon. Now, if this sounds like a lot of wibbly wobbly shabla blue, don't worry. Let's move on to the next one, and I'll explain everything in very neato burrito simple English. Long-term play. So, as any investment, you kind of go into it thinking, okay, how long do I have to keep it? What's the risk within the next 5 years? And since the 2021 scalping market is done, it's over with, it's not coming back for a little while until the general economy situation is gonna get a lot better, which probably will not be very soon. You kind of have to wait about 5 years for any product to kind of age well. They kind of have this almost a guarantee. You shouldn't use the word guarantee in finance, but you have almost an assurance that, historically speaking, all Pokemon products do very well within 5 years. That means that it's a high chance that, you're going to be sitting with 0 to almost no returns for like 4 years, and then on the 5th year they might skyrocket. Or it might be more of a regulated jump, like 10% 1 year, 10% next year, 10% next year, and then the next after, like 20% the year after that. But who knows? But overall, you're going to wait probably 3 to 5 years. Really, the safer term is probably 5 years, to be honest. So if you're willing to lock your money up, just freeze it for a decent amount of time, go ahead and do it. But in my opinion, it's not the way to go for the majority of the collectors. Okay, point number 2. I'm gonna keep it as very short. Point number 2 is the market is very illiquid. So that means it's not liquid. And what that means in finance, in simple terms, is that how quickly can you exchange one thing into cash or into another thing, but really into cash. So let's say Ryan over here has a bunch of hot Pokemon chicks like Cynthia and Lily, right? Okay, don't sue me for that. And he wants to buy a house or a fancy car. So here's a question: how quickly can Ryan convert his, Cynthia's into cash so he can pay for the house? I mean, unless the landlord is a weeb and you can pay him in like 100,000 copies of Cynthia full art, then maybe he's gonna sell you the house, but I wouldn't count on it. So given, the amount of cars that are out there, really, and unless you have like super desirable PSA 10 graded base set cards, which are honestly also quite illiquid, because even more so, I would believe, than regular cards, you kind of say convert it within a month. If you have a collection worth, say, $1,000 is a small collection, like a $10,000, $20,000 collection, and you want to convert it all to cash, not only you're going to lose a certain amount of money, which I already explained in one of my other videos, but you're also going to need time to do that. And sometimes having access to quick money, like a credit card, I don't know, a bond that you can kind of just shut off right away, like a short-term bond, is a lot better than having cards like this. Do you understand? So if, say, you see a cheap house on the market, you don't have the cash, you cannot convert your Pokemon cards into the amount of cash that you need, like in a very short amount of time, the house is gone. That's it. You missed out on an opportunity. Next, Pokemon cards pay no dividend, right? The whole investment in Pokemon cards, in sealed products, whatever it is, pays no dividend. You're not gonna have Marnie show up like to you every year or every quarter with a bag of cash being like, hey Ryan, here's the money that, we owe you as the Pokemon company for holding all these cards out of the market. Hey, thank you for doing this. Thank you for your service. And Mew is not gonna be like, step on me, mommy. You know what I mean? So technically, even if the cards are going up in value, you're getting no return whatsoever. It's going up on paper. Until you sell it, you don't have the money. It's technically worth more money. You're technically getting a percentage every year if it's going up, but you're not until you sell it. It pays no dividend. You don't have an additional stream of revenue. Taxable or not taxable doesn't really matter, but still, that's a very valid point to really kind of keep in mind if you want to deploy a larger amount of capital, like tens of thousands. So that you're kind of just freezing the money there. And the last point is the opportunity cost. Now, what does it mean? The opportunity cost is, in very simple terms, is what you could have done with the money instead of buying Pokemon cards or investing in Pokemon cards. As you know, you could basically, so let's say you have 20,000, you could put that $20,000 into the stock market, or maybe your 401k or something else. I don't know, just something else like ETFs, I don't know, mutual funds. And would that investment in mutual funds, in the stock market or anything, or bonds, outperform your Pokemon cards investment? Or the other way around, really? Will your Pokemon cards investment outperform the other investment that you have the chance of taking right now? You know, maybe you could start your own business with that money. Let's say you have 20,000, that's an okay amount of capital to try and start your business. Or maybe you could go into cryptocurrencies instead. Maybe that's going to outperform it. So there's a risk versus reward, of course, and you should always think about the risk and the downside when it comes to investing. But there is something called the opportunity cost, which is kind of, okay, what am I kind of missing out on by taking this investment, as keeping in mind that the market is very illiquid. So if you say deploy $10,000, it's not going to be easy for you to kind of cash out, not lose money, and then redeploy that capital into another investment like the stock market, opening your business, cryptocurrency, whatever it is, really. So investing in Pokemon cards is a very hobby-driven investment that happens to also bring returns over over very long periods of time. It's not something that should be done as a main thing, I believe, for the majority of the population, unless you have large amounts of capital to really play around with, and you're actively trading and selling the things, and maybe you have other revenue streams as well. So that's really it. I just wanted to let you guys know that everybody is talking about, say, investing cards, buying PSA 10, spending thousands of dollars. They just kind of, riding the hype train. And investing is a whole different animal, and you really have to approach it with, what do I have to lose by doing it? And in my opinion, you have a lot to lose, as the trading cards, it are a luxury item. It's this is definitely not something that people need. It's definitely something that people want. So it's pretty much always going to be the last thing that pumps in the world. That's how I feel about it. It's not a commodity by any means. It's a luxury item that is for most people, it's the very last thing they would buy. So it's the very last thing they would pump their money into, in the very last market that would pump. Probably right now it's alongside cryptocurrencies, but who knows, in the 5 years the connection could kind of split away. That's really it. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in more Pokemon finance and Pokemon market talk, subscribe to my channel, of course, naturally. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.